The Christmas Lantern Fairy. In a quiet, snow-covered village, nestled at the edge of an enchanted forest, there was a tradition. Every Christmas Eve, the villagers would light lanterns and place them on their windowsills. They believed the light would guide the Christmas Lantern Fairy, a mythical being said to bring warmth and blessings to their homes during the cold winter nights. Little did they know that the Christmas Lantern Fairy was very real. Her name was Lyria, a tiny winged figure with hair like spun silver and eyes as bright as morning frost. Lyria wasn't your typical fairy. She didn't sprinkle glitter or sing sweet songs. She carried a lantern that held a single magical ember from the heart of a star, glowing with a warmth that could mend broken hearts and rekindle fading hopes. Every year, Lyria would visit homes with their lanterns aglow. Their light was her beacon, guiding her to those who needed her magic the most. But this Christmas was different. As Lyria flew over the village, she noticed one house at the edge of the woods that was dark and silent. No lantern glowed at the window, and no decorations adorned the house. Curious, Lyria fluttered closer. Through a frost-covered window she saw a little girl, no older than 6, curled up beneath a thin blanket. The girl's cheeks were pale and her tiny breath fogged the air. The house was cold, its fireplace empty and dark. On a small table beside her there was a half-finished letter to Santa, written in shaky handwriting.
Dear Santa, I know you are busy, but if you can, please bring something to keep my mom and me warm. We've tried to be good this year. Love, Evie.
Lyria's heart ached. The magic ember in her lantern pulsed, sensing the little girl's sorrow. Lyria knew she couldn't leave without helping. With a flick of her tiny hand, she floated to the fireplace and gently touched the lantern to the logs. A fire roared to life, its warmth filling the room. Next, she hovered over the small kitchen table where empty cupboards stood. With a wave of her hand, bread, fruit, and a jug of milk appeared. But her work wasn't done. Lyria flew to the bedside and whispered softly into Evie's ear. The girl stirred and opened her eyes to see the fairy glowing softly before her.
Are you an angel?
Evie asked in awe.
No, little one,
Lyria replied with a smile.
I'm here to remind you that even in the coldest winters, hope and kindness can bring warmth.
Lyria touched the ember of her lantern to Evie's heart, leaving a tiny invisible mark. It wasn't just a blessing for warmth. It was a spark of courage and resilience that would stay with Evie forever. The next morning, Evie woke to find her mother smiling for the first time in months, the house filled with warmth and food. Outside, the villagers had left gifts on their doorstep. Coats, blankets, and even toys, inspired by a mysterious feeling that someone needed them. Though Evie never saw Lyria again, she always remembered the magical fairy who turned her darkest Christmas into a season of light and love. From that day on, every Christmas Eve, Evie made sure her lantern burned the brightest of all to guide Lyria to those who needed her the most. And somewhere in the frosty air, Lyria would smile, knowing her light had once again kindled the spirit of Christmas.